Hey, what is up, YouTube and ACS Racing Network fans? This is your host, JG24JM26, and you're listening to Cue the Duck.
One more time, please.
In the truck, please cue the duck.
So, the Big Three. Very controversial topic this year. Lots of comments on Twitter. Very mixed emotions, I'll tell you that much. But to me, the Big Three is respectable. I mean, Truex has kind of fallen behind as of late, but Harvick and Busch, it's just like punch for punch. It's amazing on the racetrack. Harvick will win, then Kyle Busch will win again, and Truex will also stick his head in there, win some stage points. Stage winner, MTJ, will also win some races. He's got 4 in the season. Harvick and Busch, 7 and 6 respectively. It's amazing. It's a shame I don't like Kyle Busch, because he's a darn good racer. I just don't like his personality. That's just me, though. I mean, I'm entitled to that. You're entitled to like Kyle Busch. I don't care. I don't let the fact that I don't like Kyle Busch affect my stop motions. That's for sure. And that's a fact, and you will see that in Season 9. Kyle Busch is good. I respect that. He's an ACS champion. Season 5. Kyle Busch wins the championship. And I don't like the guy. People call me biased all the time, but I don't like Kyle Busch, and he wins the championship. I don't like Jimmie Johnson. He's got 2 championships. Logano is meh to me. I mean, I like him, but I don't root for him. He's a Season 7 champ. But that's a different story. That's a different podcast. But we're talking about the Big Three. Harvick, Kyle Busch, Truex. Amazing battle. And what's a shame is those 3 could not make it to Homestead. That would be a crime if those 3 do not make it to Homestead. And I'm sure I'll be doing a podcast in November talking about Kyle Busch isn't in Homestead. The sport needs to change. The playoff format needs to change. And I hope I don't have to make that podcast. I want Kyle Busch in the championship race because he deserves it. I don't like him, but he deserves to be there. Just like last year, Larson deserved to be in the Final Four, and he didn't make it out of the round of 12. Ridiculous, NASCAR. This playoff format is exciting, yes, but it also seems manufactured. And you know what? That will be a topic for another podcast. I'm still trying to talk about the Big Three, but I'm ranting about other stuff. Need to be a little more organized. So the Big Three. It's amazing to watch. I mean, when's the last time we've had 3 drivers like this? We've always had, 2 drivers going back and forth. The one that comes to my mind is 2010. Denny Hamlin, Kevin Harvick, and Jimmie Johnson. Those 3 were on it that year. Johnson, not so much. But Johnson won the championship because he's amazing in the playoffs. Denny Hamlin deserved it. He had like 8 wins. Harvick, he won the regular season. Not that the regular season means anything anymore. But he technically won the regular season. Denny Hamlin, dominant all year long. Jimmie Johnson, hot in the playoffs. The Big Three, they take swings at each other this year. Those 3 drivers, with the stage points they have, the playoff points, they have, I think they'll make it to Homestead. They shouldn't have an issue with that. But you never know. 3 bad races in the round of 8 could keep Truex from advancing easily because he doesn't have as many stage points as Harvick or Busch. But I think instead of complaining about the Big Three, a lot of you need to take a step back and look at what they are doing in the sport, today's NASCAR. One of the most competitive eras of NASCAR, and 3 drivers are dominating it. I mean, yeah, we have a lot of young talent in the sport, but if you look at it, Brad Keselowski has not found victory lane. Jimmie Johnson has not found victory lane this season. Denny Hamlin, Kurt Busch. There's a lot of good drivers that haven't found victory lane this season. Almirola's been good. He's revived his career thanks to Tony Stewart. Ryan Blaney, he's come close. He's due for a win. Kyle Larson's young, but he definitely can win races. He won 4 last year. I believe 4. But the Big Three, it's crazy. 17 wins altogether. It just doesn't get much better than that. From from a competitor standpoint. And I think why people hate the big three is because they're not the most likable of drivers. I'll admit. Kevin Harvick, sorry for the language, but he can be a douche sometimes. I like Harvick personally. I think he's a great driver. I can root for him. He's the one I'm rooting for out of this big three. Kyle Busch, I mean, he's the guy. He's the kind of driver that you either love him or hate him. So there's no in between for Kyle Busch, that's for sure. But Kyle Busch is outstanding. He's such a pure talent, and it's crazy that he doesn't really get the respect for it. I mean, I'm an avid Busch hater, but I respect his talent at the same time. It's all about that. And then Truex, very likable guy. He's got a great story. Thrown around in his career, used by Michael Waltrip, dumped by Michael Waltrip. He got screwed out of the playoffs that one year because of Michael Waltrip, and his girlfriend Sherry Pollock's cancer survivor, and I think she's going through another round of chemo. I'm not quite sure about that, but she's a fighter for sure. You gotta love that storyline. But the thing I get with Truex is every time someone races him hard, he's on the radio complaining. And I know Gordon's guilty of that. I'm a Gordon fan. I know Gordon is guilty of complaining about being raced hard on the radio. But at the same time, Gordon congratulates others for racing him hard in a respectful manner, like 2014 at Chicagoland with Kyle Larson. But Truex, he'll get on the radio and say, I'm going to wreck him. One of the cases that comes to mind is the 2017 Dover race in Stage 1 between him and Kyle Larson. Larson was racing him hard and clean, and Truex got upset about it. It's like, yeah, you're the fastest car, but it's racing. You're not... The leader is not supposed to just pull over for you at the end of a stage and let you get a stage win. It's stupid, Truex. Come on, man. Toughen up a little. I mean, at Michigan, he got wrecked at Byron, but then he says some hurtful stuff about William. I mean, saying he's garbage and... Because you sucked him around by going around the outside of him. And I think William said he had a tire going down too, in his defense. So I think Truex just kind of has to man up a little bit under the wheel and drive his car. He's talented, but I think he's benefiting from great equipment. But no doubt in my mind he's talented. I'm not going to take that away from him. I know he's talented, but if like he raced for Richard Childress, I'm sure he would be up front running. But at the same time, the equipment isn't there. And that's the big thing about NASCAR these days is you got to have good equipment. So I think that's the big problem with the big three is they're not the best, or not the best. They're not the most likable drivers. And say like, what if Clint Bowyer was up there? Chase Elliott. Who's another big? Ryan Blaney. Some of the most likable drivers. Chase Elliott is likable because of he inherited Dale Jr.'s fan base, Jeff Gordon's fan base, Bill Elliott's fan base. Bill Elliott, mind you, before Dale Sr., was the most popular driver. Or sorry, Dale Jr. Bill Elliott was the most popular driver. So, given that, he's going to inherit a lot of fans from his daddy. Then he takes over the 24. Like me, I followed. I became a Chase Elliott fan. And then Dale Jr. retires, and Martinsville happens. It's just a recipe for a big fan base. So I think if Chase Elliott was dominating the season, a lot of people could get behind that. Ryan Blaney, probably one of the best personalities in the sport. A lot of people could get behind that. And Clint Bowyer, easily the most funniest driver on the track. If he was dominating, I don't think anybody would have an issue with Bowyer being up there. But instead, we get Kevin Harvick, Kyle Busch, and Martin Truex Jr. I like them all. I like them all that be there because they're good. I just think it's a shame they're being scrutinized because people don't like them. I mean, talent has to be given. I mean, respect has to be given for the talent. It's ridiculous. So that's my spiel on the big three. I think they're great. I think they're wonderful. I think it's good for the sport. I think it's an intriguing battle to watch between the three of them. They are just incredible how competitive they are. They keep one-upping each other. It's amazing, and I can't wait for Bristol. I'm so excited for Bristol, and I'm so excited to do more podcasts. I hope everybody liked Cue the Duck episode 2, the Big Three. And I'm sure I'll do another video on the Big Three. So if you don't like that, then I guess you're out of luck, and you probably won't watch it. So it was fun. It's fun talking about the Big Three. It's good. I think it's amazing. I think it's intriguing, and it's definitely fun to watch. So thanks everybody for watching. This has been Cue the Duck, the JG24, James26, signing out.